Hello and welcome back to Witch on the Holy Night. My name is Maybe Dennis, and last time, well, we continued our investigation about who killed Mr. Tokitsu, and then after exploring the mansion a little bit, we found out that our teacher is dead. Yeah. Oh, he was found in a coffin stance upon like a sea of flowers in his room for some reason. And afterwards, we had a whole bunch of funny stuff with Riddle, and we saw we saw Alice in a penguin suit. Everything was kind of funny, but we ended off with like the lights going off. There was lightning. We saw Beowulf in the outside, but no one knows it's him. So now we're following Aozaki outside, and now we're gonna continue to see what else there is in store for us. Aozaki extended her left hand towards me. I grabbed hold tightly. Her hand was so cold it sent shivers down my spine. I mentioned this last time, but so far I've been pretty satisfied with my choices because I feel like I've gotten a lot of content out of it. I don't know how close an ending will be, but I'm sure we'll get one sooner or later because there's supposed to be like multiple endings. I don't know how many, to be honest. Hope it's not like Nier Automata where there are like 26 endings. As we rounded one side of the mansion, Aozaki stopped. I couldn't even open my eyes. Aozaki paused before speaking. My words failed to reach her. Aozaki ran away from the mansion into the darkness of the woods. Baka! I screamed out in frustration. Somehow, she heard me. Screaming outside screaming when you think the killer is outside is a recipe for, it's a recipe for disaster. Aozaki's voice came from the tree line. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Aozaki's dead. Huh? Aozaki's words hung in the air as her body suddenly flew to one side. It was as if she was hit by a high-powered rifle. She lay lifelessly on the ground. Well, that's another death. I know she looked in my direction before she burst out laughing. Behind me. Footsteps. I can barely make them out in the rain. I don't have time to look back or think. I ran as fast as I could. I need to get away from whatever was behind me. I sprinted into the deep, dark forest, away from the mansion. My chest burned with exertion. I never pushed myself this hard, even during PE class. Wow, I was a pretty good runner. It's amazing what humans can do when they think we're about to die. My mind began to wander, trying to escape the reality of the situation, when... Oh. Suddenly, I felt like I was floating. My feet kicked wildly at the air. Is she laughing now? No, she tripped over something. I seemed to be falling backwards. Every breath sent a painful spasm through my back. I reached for my back, feeling like something was wrong, and touched something wet. I timidly looked at my hand. As much as I hated to admit it, my hand was strawberry. Oh, did we just die? Wait, I don't think she was laughing, so she just tripped. Maybe she accidentally laughed while she was running? That would be weird. I licked it. Yep, tastes like iron. I'd lost over a liter of blood and only kept flowing. Well, you know, I was saying I was happy with my choices. Well then, I guess we're getting a game over. Horrifying reality stopped me from finishing my sentence. Something was coming this way. At this point, I didn't really care. Would I sleep forever? Or be captured by the killer? Either way, apparently this was how my night would end. Wow, I was that close to getting to a game, one of the endings last time. Damn, I should just finished it. I had no idea. Are you okay? So there are no bookmarks, it seems. Wow, that's terrible. Does that mean I have to start over? Oh my god, it does. Oh wow. Okay, so there is like the super skip and like the. This could potentially be really bad. I didn't really put too many save slots or like save anchors, but you know, in that case, I'll just load up one of my old saves. There aren't many. I made a mistake and I accidentally saved over my old saves. Both of them. Well, crap. You know, while I'm skipping through this, I do want to say, like, I wonder. So, like, Kumari like died naturally. I'm assuming she ran and she slipped and she got like stabbed by like a branch or something. But I wonder if like in the real world or like after the Ploy's thing, the Ploy only like took people out of the game if they died from laughing, I'm assuming. So I wonder if like after maybe the Ploy gets turned off or solved, if Kojika or Kumari would have remained dead in that timeline, but I guess we won't find out. Saving at all relevant spots now. Okay, I'm finally back here at Decision P. Last time I said it was dangerous for Aozaki to go alone, and we both died. So let's wait for all three to return. I should wait inside the mansion for all three of them to return. She's gonna die. Shizuki usually kept his distance from Father Eri, but there was nothing usual about tonight. He kept pace with the priest's side, his head on a swivel. It is 12:30. I waited for what felt like an eternity. The power still wasn't back on. Oh no, man, that really sucks. This will be super scary now. Let's hope our best. Those rooms must have been added at a later date. All the older areas of the mansion, like the drawing room, hallways, and west wing, were pitch dark. He was outside. You're gonna die too. Dark and lonely nights. Ritsuka disappeared up the stairs to the second floor of the mansion. Odd decision, I'm gonna say, come to think of it, Bayo. Thinking about it, they were away for a while, so like Aozaki, they could have murdered Mr. Tokitsu and Mr. Yamashiro too. After a long 20 minutes, Aozaki returned. Oh, she didn't die this time. She took off her raincoat and dried herself with a towel. Aozaki explained that she'd patrol a loop of the entire mansion, starting from the left side. She didn't find anything in front of the sunroom. Aozaki and Sister Yuika exchanged concerned glances. Then, one of them came back alone. Uh-oh. Shizuki came back inside, looking solemn and dripping wet. Father Eri wasn't with him. Shizuki was clearly downtrodden, but he made a bizarre choice of words. Oh no, Eri's dead. I didn't think it would happen to him. The foyer fell silent. Shizuki was biting his lip, clearly ashamed of losing track of the priest and falling for the killer's trap.
宗十郎、その手に持ってるのなんだ?
Looking closer, I could see something long and fluffy in his hand, about 8 inches in length.
いや、館の東側、サンルームの前に落ちてたんだけど。
Oh, wow, was that? He held up what looked like a golden dog plushie. There was a strange pattern on its forehead.
5人目の犠牲者ね。
それベオ？じゃあ、あいつがサンルームの前にいた人影？
That was Bao's death. He turned into a plush. He wanted to be adorable.
言われてみれば、確かにベオだったな。
I kind of wonder how Father Airy died.
あれ？もしかしてあいつ、俺たちに助けを求めていたのか？
If he was, what did that mean? Bao saw the killer outside the sunroom. Was made to laugh somehow, remember we were inside, and try to get our attention? Ritsuko was the one who warned us to stay away from Bao. She said that she was used to dark nights. Did she know that the silhouette was Bao trying not to laugh?
ベオは何か見つけたのかもね。密かに一番頼りにしてたのに、痛手だわ。
You'd think that the person made to counter mystics would have a better chance at this.
それで宗十郎、エイリはどのあたりでやられたの？
西側の森だ。何か動くものがあるって森に入っていって、すぐに笑い声が聞こえてきた。その後、落雷のような悲鳴と滝のような血が降ってきて、見上げてみたら。
Everyone held their breath in anticipation. We all braced for the gruesome description of the priest's demise.
見上げたら。
Oh god, it's gonna be funny.
木と木の間にクモの巣みたいにロープが張り巡らされていて、その中心でくねくねしたポーズで死んだ。
Oh, that is pretty gruesome. I don't know what that symbolizes though.
なんか裸になってバラ加えて。
Instinctively, I turned to face the laughter behind me. That was Yuika, wasn't it? Oops. Oh, it all happened so quickly. Sister Yuika had turned to stone as soon as she heard Shizuki's report.
ユイカさん、石化して死んだ！
Oh, I didn't expect that.
悲劇ね。生地、耳で世界を捉える人だから。
俺は普段、この人と神父がどんだけ険悪なのか気になって仕方がないが。
No, she was the ace in our hole.
これで7人だ。一気に減ったな。
Unfortunately for us, all the people who posed the greatest threat to the killer were gone. The clock approached 1 a.m. I wonder why she turned to stone. Maybe because she's always so stoic. Unable to go to the drawing room, those of us left behind were stuck standing in the foyer. It was surprisingly dark in here. The guest rooms were probably better lit. I considered going there. Might look weird going by myself though. Was Aozaki's older sister, the 13th guest, really here? I couldn't go back to my room yet until that mystery was solved at least.
とりあえず、ユイカさんの彫像は部屋の隅に移動させよう。
You're like, yeah. And then she's like, okay, you gotta move it.
あれ、重いな。すごく重いぞ、ユイカさん。飛び丸、手伝ってくれ。
はいよ、俺後ろな。見た目通りいい曲線してやがんな、ユイカさん。シスター目当てで教会に通い詰める野郎が多いわけだ。
Don't break anything. Even in this situation, Shizuki and Tsukiji were friendly. I couldn't believe how calm they both were. I felt like I was nearing a breaking point. If something jumped at me, I'd probably die of shock before I died from laughter.
クマ、お茶でも入れてこようか。顔色真っ青よ。
Oh, I wonder if Aozaki, when she turned around to see Kumari, she just saw the doll, which is very out of place.
ありがとう。けどいらない。
The last thing I wanted was to use the toilet, and I was scared of venturing far into the mansion to find one.
お、余裕じゃない。 その調子なら朝まで持ちそうね。エイリとユイカさんは残念なことになったけど、ある意味ちょっと安心した。このメンツなら気心知れてるし、疑い合うこともないしね。
That's what the thing wants you to think.
あとはトーコを見つければ。
いえ、それには及ばないわ。ゲームはこれで終わり。
That's probably Ritsuka.
今までよくやってくれたものね、アコちゃん。
リツカさん。
The voice came from the stairs. Ritsuka had returned from her search for Beo.
何よ、今のどういう意味？
だから芝居はもういいってことです。チェックメイトよ、アコちゃん。どうしてこんな強行に及んだのかは全然わからないけど、物的証拠が真実を示しているの。まだ断定はしないけど、十中八九あなたがスイーツハーツ最有力候補よ。
The thunder at the right time.
何言い出すのよ、バカリツカ。私がスイーツハーツだなんてそんなわけないじゃない。ないわよね。ないはずだと思うけど。
I think, please.
しらばくれるのもそこまで。ベオ君を探している時にあなたの部屋を見させてもらったわ。
あんたどうやって私の部屋に入ったのよ。鍵かけてあったでしょ。
I picklocked it.
私の数少ない特技、本格推理ピッキングです。
Oh wait, I think she did mention that before.
な
No,
いか
no,
ら本格でピッキングはご法度だから。
no. Someone was picking her lock. Never mind.
そんなんで人が必死に隠してた死体を見つけるとか反則じゃない。
Finding a dead body that someone's definitely trying to hide is totally against the rules. Aozaki was losing it. We all stared at her silently.
いや、その
Oh, so Toko was in her room and she died.
宗次郎、青崎の部屋は？
東館の2階の突き当たりだ。
Toko's probably dead then. We followed Ritsuka to Aozaki's bedroom. Our suspect tagged along, pouting and sulking.
ドアを開けるわ。
Ritsuka opened the door. How is she going to die? We moved from the dark corridor to the equally dim bedroom. When I entered, I was greeted by a sight of a... She died from drinking too much. That's the way she died. A woman beautiful enough to make me question my sexuality. Clutching a microphone in one hand and cradling a huge bottle of liquor in the other. Taking a satisfied eternal slumber. And the walls... Well, ain't this really out of character? We're plastered with the bizarre posters.
急性アルコール中毒。
これが動かぬ証拠よ、アコちゃん。いくらトコちゃんが邪魔だからって、こんな恥ずかしい姿のまま放置しておくなんて。トコちゃん、私はプログレ派だなんて言ってたけど、本当は演歌好きだったのね。しかもマイマイクまで持っちゃって。ああ、身内の恥すぎる。だから見せたくなかったのに。
Aozaki was swarming up a storm. However, this didn't change the fact that she concealed the victim.
そっか。思い返してみれば、青崎は自分の部屋に誰も寄りつかないよう動いていたんだ。この人の死体が見つかったら、いろいろと不便だから。違うってば、私も被害者なんだって。昼過ぎに部屋に戻ってみたら、姉貴がいきなり死んでるんだもん。そりゃ隠すでしょ、普通。
After lunch.
残念だが、青崎、お前さんの弁明はもう遅い。それならどうして13人目がいるかいないかを話し合っているとき、姉貴のことを話さなかったんだ。だってあの時に切り出してもどうして黙っていたんだって追及されるじゃない。エイリとユイカさんからしてみれば私を弾劾する絶好の機会だし。
Good thing now they're both dead.
それなら黙っていて私の手で犯人を捕まえようって。
そうかしら。13人目がいるって状態にしておけば、アコちゃんが自由に暗躍できるからじゃないの。事実、トコちゃんを探そうとしてベオ君もエイリさんもユイちゃんもリタイアしちゃったんだし。
だからそれはエイリたちが自滅しただけで。
悪いな青崎。クオンジの説明からするとスイーツハーツとやらは自分でもわからない犯人だ。こいつの正体を暴くには動機より状況証拠を優先しないといけない。現状最も今までの犠牲者たちを殺害できる可能性があったのはお前だ。
I guess she did indirectly cause the death of a lot of characters.
ええ、悲しいけどこれ推理なのよね。
Tsukichi and Ritsuka grabbed her arms. Shizuki casually helped.
どうするつもり？まさか疑わしきは殺すってわけ？
落ち着いて隔離するだけよ、アコちゃん。犯人と思わしき者は警察が来るまで閉じ込めて強行をストップさせるミステリーの情動ね。外から鍵をかけられる監獄っぽい部屋はあるかしら、あっちゃん。
それなら地下室があるわ。雪山のペンションにありそうな細い階段から直通の狭い部屋が。
Man, Toka really put like posters of herself all over the room.
青子にはそこで一晩明かしてもらいましょう。
スキー跡！そのペンションの名前スキー跡とか言わない？アリス！
青崎、お前さんがスイーツハーツでないにしろそこに閉じこもっていれば安全だろ。これは最後の保険でもあるんだ。観念して生贄になってくれ。
確かにそういう理屈になるわね。民主主義的に閉じ込められる隙を見せた私の負けってことか。
Yeah, we should have locked her up from the start. If Aozaki really was Sweethearts, no one would die from any sudden bouts of comedy. And if she wasn't, then she'd survive until the game was over. Another typo? Who wouldn't protest though, if they're labeled the prime suspect? It felt awful to be the one handing down a verdict. One of us had to unlucky. Okay, I messed that up because another typo already. One of us had to be unlucky enough to take the fall.
でもこれだけは言っておくわ。相手はとんでもない切れ者よ。もしかしたら本当に姿のない13人目はいるかもしれない。
Oh, that's ominous. Those were Aozaki's last words. After shutting her in the cellar and locking it from the outside with a padlock, we finally breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, wow. I want to say I'm not so sure about that. I wasn't sure about that.
これでやっと眠れるわ。それじゃあみんなおやすみなさい。
Ritsuka disappeared up to the west wing stairs.
私も休ませてもらうわ。しずきくんはエイリ神父にあてがっていた部屋を使って。夜が明けるまでしずきくんの部屋は使えないから。
あ、そうだった。ありがとう、アリス。
Miss Kuonji and Suzuki retired to their respective rooms. I'm surprised Kumari didn't question that. Like, why is his room out of question? Because she doesn't know that the attic is his room. It was just us left. I mustered up some courage to look at Tsukiji.
くまり、話ちょっとだけいいか。
築地、少しだけ話さない？
We smiled at each other. We both had the same idea apparently. Don't laugh though. Things had gotten really out of hand tonight. It was an ungodly hour. The storms raging outside seems to portend the end of the world. If we laugh, we die. Yet here I am with a guy I had a crush on for 3 years.
お茶を入れられるな、ここ。くまりは紅茶でいいか。
コーヒー、すごく苦いの。砂糖入れないで。
そりゃ豪気だ。甘みは必要ねってか。
That sounded a bit sarcastic, but I know he didn't mean it that way.
話って人物 A のこと？
おう、まだ解決とは言えないからな。くまりだって青崎が 100% 星だと思ってねえだろ。
He passed me a coffee. I slowly brought it to my mouth before taking a sip. He was right. I didn't. We were both on the same page.
青崎が該当するのは確かだけど、それを言うなら律香さんもしずきもだしね。信頼できるのはクオンジさんと事件が起きてからずっと一緒にいた私たちぐらいじゃない？
ああ、クオンジは信用できねえだろ。あいつ基本的にプロイとやらの味方じゃねえか。
Yes, my ploys are working.
そうなの？確かにずっと中立っぽい態度だったけど、根拠は？
犯人探しをする気がないっていうのと、そうだな。勘で申し訳ないんだが、人物 A とやらに肩入れしている気がする。
そりゃそうでしょう。プロイってクオンジさんの持ち物なんだし、もう人物 A はプロイが化けてるんだし。
いや、そっちじゃない。今動いているプロイにじゃなくて、使ったやつに対してだよ。だってあいつ怒ってなかっただろ。自分の持ち物が勝手に使われたっていうのに。
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
おう。
He was right. Does that mean Miss Koonji knew who the killer was?
知らないとは思うぜ。だが、あえて口にしていないことはあるだろうな。例えば、スイーツハーツとやらの詳しい特徴だ。リデルの口ぶりからすると、使う人間にはある種の特徴がありそうだった。スイーツハーツは誰にでも使えるもんじゃねえと思う。ほら、妖刀とか名刀とかで持ち物が持ち主を選ぶって言うじゃねえか。あんな感じでな。
I don't know. Could a thing really choose who uses it? If so, did that mean Miss Koonji was supporting, no, empathetic to it?
しかし、今更だけどな。くまり、俺とコンビでよかったのか？
Well, that came out of nowhere. I tried my best to stay calm as I answered.
それはいい。私、築地のこと信頼してるし。
いや、この場合まずいだろ、それ。今夜に限っちゃ、信頼しているやつほど危ねえじゃねえか。
Oh, that's ominous. Oh no.
そうね。疑ってかかるぐらいがちょうどいい。
そういうこと。この事件で一番信用しちゃならねえのは自分だ。だから常に客観的に監視している相棒がいないと無実が証明できない。リデルのやつが二人一組で行動しようって言い出したのはそのあたりも含めてだろうよ。二心同体、スイーツハーツとはよく言ったもんだ。
We put Riddle behind us.
じゃあ築地は誰が一番怪しいと思ってる？
全員平等だぜ。怪しいってんなら俺はまだ時津のじいさんの死体が本物かどうかさえ保留してるしな。青崎が自分の部屋を隠していたこともありゃ真犯人にうまくはめられたんじゃないかって思ってる。一番の強敵を真っ先に封じに来た結果かもしれん。
青崎がはめられた？
ああ、事実上あの行動力の塊みたいな女が自分の部屋を隠すことで手一杯だっただろ。それに妙なこと言ってたじゃねえか。青崎の姉貴がいつああなったか。くまりはどう思う？
Wait, plus you're saying something weird. When do you think that business with Toko happened? Yeah, I was curious about that too because, like, I'm really confused about something. I'm really confused about when this ploy started. Because first of all, Kumari said that she heard something when she was napping, like laughter. But at that point, I don't think anyone died yet. I'm not sure. And, but Aozaki was trying to keep us out of her room for like a while. So, I really don't know. Oh, wow. I'm gonna say between 4 to 6. I don't remember. I'm missing too many details. I think Toko must have died sometime between 4 and 6 p.m.
まあ、断定できない以上、 憶測は憶測でしかねえけどな。それよりだ、くまり。ネックはいつ殺したかじゃなく、どうやって殺したかだと思わねえか。山城にしろ営利神父にしろ、あの鉄仮面たちを笑わせられるのはよっぽどのセンスだ。殺害可能時間は平等にあっても、そのセンスだけは限られる。この点で言えば、ま、宗十郎やらベオやら木の実やらは除外される。
I thought it was Sojiro, to be honest. Mainly because, like, we don't know what made Father Eri laugh. So I thought maybe it was Sojiro, and he seemed to not, like, I mean, he's also lacking common sense as well. But he's also, like, missing for a lot of the case in the early game of it. And he kind of shared the details of Father Eri's death in a funny way, so that would take out Yuika. Tsukichi had latched on to something big. Why hadn't anyone else thought of that? Hosuke's jokes only made people cringe. Beo didn't even understand the concept of humor. As for Shizuki, I meant planks of wood that get jokes quicker. I mean, that just means he doesn't laugh to them, right? Our discussion carried on until nearly 3 a.m. I yawned. I was by no means relaxed, just exhausted. Actually, what if the ploy took over us when we were napping? I kind of forgot what it was like when we were napping. Did we see anything? I don't remember. I'll have to look back. After everything that's happened, I'd be surprised if anyone had any real energy left.
夜更かししすぎたな。そろそろ眠り時だがどうする？寝んには寝んだ。俺もそこのソファーで眠るってのもありだが。
He was clearly on guard for Sweetheart's disguised as Aozaki or something else. I yawned again. Let's keep him in the room. If that's how it has to be, then there's no helping it now.
そうよね。万が一の時便利だし。私はほら、兄貴が売るほどいるから、男子と一緒の部屋とか多分慣れてるし。
She's lying.
そりゃ頼もしい。じゃ、ソファーを借りるぜ。いい加減、俺も気を張り続けて疲れた。くまりがいるなら、ちっとは安心して眠れる。
Tsukiji quickly fell asleep after raising his hand to wave goodnight. I looked at him all wrapped up in a blanket.
何それ。
Seeing him fall asleep so quickly helped me feel relaxed too. I definitely didn't want to get excited in a situation like this. Plus, I was beat. I feel like we're gonna die. This is gonna be an ending. I didn't have any pajamas, and I didn't feel like changing anyways. For comfort, I did remove my wallet and card case from my pocket and place them on the table before sliding under a blanket, fully clothed. I couldn't fall asleep as fast as Tsukiji, but I could feel myself drifting off already. Into a deep, deep sleep. Did I just hear laughter next to me? Oh no, we're gonna wake up and Tsukiji's dead. I woke up to the sound of birds chirping. The clock read 5:30. The sun was beginning to peek over the horizon. My ability to rise early was one of my few strong points, so I must have been really exhausted. I looked around the room, my vision blurry.
そうだ、築地。
I went to sleep in the same room as him. I finally realized that he wasn't where I'd last seen him. There was nobody on the sofa, just his clothes. They were laid out neatly like they were on display. It was like he'd shrunk so small he disappeared, or melted away somewhere. Maybe he wanted to die by completely vanishing.
築地？
I tried touching his clothes. I touched his blanket and the sofa. His warmth has long since faded. My card case had fallen around where his hand might have been. I could guess what happened. He never really fell asleep. He pretended to, so I'd relax. Then he stayed up to watch over me all night. This was a locked room murder. It was clear what the murder weapon is, and I was finally close to figuring out who the killer was too. I picked up my card case and left the room feeling empty inside. I'm so sorry, Tsukiji. As Aozaki's friend, of course you'd laugh at that photo. Oh, It was quiet. The air was crisp. My mind was so blank, I almost laughed. Tsukiji's room was clean and tidy. Father Aries' room was clean and tidy. Ritsuka's room was clean and tidy.
誰か生きている人。
I yelled into the void of the West Wing, but no one responded. My hunch was spot on. Something was wrong. This mansion was now the cleanest, quietest place in all of Misaki. It was over. I went down to the basement where Aozaki was confined, down the narrow staircase to the door. The padlock had been broken clean off from outside. Well, she's dead too. Inside the tiny cellar, I saw a single dead body lying prone. The beautiful long hair was all I needed to know who it was. Aozaki. She wasn't breathing. She hadn't been the killer. It was unclear at what time she was murdered. But whoever the killer was broke the lock, made Aozaki laugh, nonchalantly went upstairs, and cut off my means of escape. They were going to show up soon. They must have been hiding somewhere, waiting for me to come down into the basement. The stairs was the only way out. If the killer followed me down here, I was trapped.
まあ、もうどうでもいいか。
I was at a dead end. Game over. Victory to the real killer. My thoughts were interrupted by the sounds of footsteps. The footsteps of death. Oh, that was a dead end. No! Oh boy. Alright, in that case, I'm gonna choose the option where I'm not gonna have Tsukiji sleep in the same room. We should be safe as long as the door is locked, but we still had other things to worry about.
いい。ここまで来たらあと少しだし。だいたい全員を疑えって言ったの築地じゃん。
そうだったな。俺も容疑者の一人だった。さすがクマリ、余計な心配だったぜ。
Tsukiji turned to the door, ready to leave. I tried to say something.
関係ないけど、ひどい一日だったのに、築地はなんか満足そうね。
What the hell was I saying? I was just embarrassing myself.
何人も死んで自分も殺されかけた一日か。確かにひでえ一日だった。
Luckily, he took my question seriously.
けどまあ、なんだかんだと楽しかったからな。
It's been kind of fun.
クマリもそうじゃなかったのか？
His considerate reply was so reassuring, I almost forgot my anxiety.
意外。築地はこういうの鼻で笑うかと思った。
そりゃ見込み違いだったな。こういうバカ騒ぎ好きなんだよ、俺。ふざけた人生を送りたいんだな。
何それ。幻滅。
Genmet. I was being serious. It reminded me of the time I first realized I'd fallen for him. Tsukiji was an amazing person, but he was also squandering his potential. He didn't want glory or move up in the world. It felt like such a waste of human capital. I could never do that. How long had I been watching him, wanting to kick his butt into gear?
こっちも今更だけど。築地、割と人付き合い悪いじゃない？なのにどうして私とは普通に話すの？
そりゃお前さん、親にも教師にも頼らず6年間一人で戦ってきたやつには敬意を表すだろう。じゃあな、朝になったらロビーで会おうぜ。
Don't die. And with that, the room went quiet again. For some reason, I felt a tight squeezing sensation in my chest.
なんだかんだと。クマリもそうじゃなかったのか？
Tsukiji's words replayed themselves over and over in my head. Yeah, he was right. Maybe it had been fun. Back to 5:30. I woke up to the sound of birds chirping.
朝
It's kind of similar. The clock read 5:30. The sun was beginning to peek over the horizon. Yeah, this is the same. Oh, wait. No, she says something a little bit different. I foggily examined my wrinkled clothes in the mirror. My body was still asleep. I was too tired to even make tea, so I grabbed my wallet and card case off the table. The case contained my commuter pass and some pictures I took each year. Ah. Okay, yes, Tsukichi would laugh at that. She either drank champagne or thinking it was a soft drink. Oh my god, it's Aozaki in a bunny suit. Oh! It was a rare shot of Aozaki making a fool of herself at this year's school festival. Oh my god, that's really funny. Or someone slipped alcohol into her juice cocktail. Next thing I knew, she was all hyper, yelling about wearing someone else's clothes. We get a close-up too. I got a great shot of her with my disposable camera. Oh my god. I didn't think Bunny Girl Aoko was gonna be a thing in this game. Same thing with Penguin Alice. Oh my god. I love that photo so much that I carried it with me in my card case everywhere I go. Whenever I felt down, it always cheered me up to look at it and remember how adorable Aozaki could be. It was a side of her that nobody who knew her would ever expect, especially her comedic side.
あれ
Wait a second. Did I just think something I really shouldn't have? That would be incredibly bad to bring up now?
そうだみんなは
Oh, right. She was like, it'd be funny if everyone saw that. Oh, if everyone saw this and laughed. I ruffled through my overnight bag to see if anything might be of use. Turns out the stuff I brought to cook with was worth bringing. Alright, I got a weapon now, a wok. I hovered over the wok or the cleaver, ultimately deciding to take the wok with me. I think someone will laugh at you if they saw you walking around with a wok. I walked into the hallway. The air was slightly cooler than inside the guest room. Silence had fallen over the mansion once again. There was no sound of life. It was like the storm had never happened. Tsukichi's room was empty. Shizuki wasn't in Father Eri's room. Nobody was in Ritsuka's room either.
クオンチさん
I called out into the void of the west wing, but got no response. I was all alone. I headed down towards the basement where Aozaki was confined. Is it going to lead to the same thing? Down a narrow staircase to a door. The padlock had been broken. Yep. This part is kind of similar. I braced myself for whatever was to come and opened the door. Yep, this is kind of the same. Inside, dive, okay. Wait, did you say that she left some words? She scrawled something with her left hand in the dying message written in blood. Feel the stain in the words.
やっぱりって言うな
I told you so.
やっぱり
Aozaki wasn't the killer. It wasn't clear when she was murdered. But whoever the killer was broke the lock and made her laugh nonchalantly, went up the stairs and... Oh, we got up this time, okay. I tried to control my breathing and my racing mind. Everyone was dead. Everyone was dead. Probably only the killer and I were left. Oh, this is slightly different. The sun was already up. Wait, not completely. If the rule said it ended in the morning, the game wasn't over yet. I had to get out of here now and figure out who the killer is. There was no winning unless I did something. Everyone was dead. No turning back now. Oh, decision you. Guess who the killer is or keep running until the morning. I'll try keep running until the morning because I think the right answer is guess who the killer is. I think it would be best to run away until the morning.
あれ
Something felt off for a second there. It was as if my decision was completely different from the words that came out from my mouth.
それどころじゃない早く逃げないと
Wait, what? I think it would be best to run away until the morning. Huh? Something felt off for a second. What does that mean? It's as if the decision was completely different from the words that came from my mouth. Did she say something that we didn't know? Wait, that's kind of suspicious. I have to hurry out of here. The game would end if I could just keep from getting caught until sunrise. As long as I survived, sweethearts wouldn't win. The storm was over. If I could just make it to the city, everything would go back to normal. No, something else gonna kill her. She's gonna trip or something. I've been heading downhill all this time, so how did I end up behind the mansion? Oh, magic stuff. The ground distorted. My senses went haywire. The world crumbled. I must have done something wrong. Suddenly, a voice whispered in my ears. Congratulations on killing everyone. That was Sojiro's voice. It was a voice of terror that I had never heard before. Yet it sounded so familiar. Bad end. Wow. I don't know what to say. So like, that was Sojiro's voice. But he said congratulations on killing everyone. So maybe it's us, but we don't know it. And for some reason, Soijiro is enabling it. This time, let's guess who the killer is. I thought I should try to deduce who the killer is. I controlled my breathing and began to organize the facts in my head. I didn't have a decisive answer to the killer's motive, method, or identity. There was only one thing I knew for sure. Tsukiji had said it many times. It's not about who committed the murders, but rather who could have committed the murders. The first murder, Tokitsu's capture and death by explosion. We could exclude the following suspects: me, Kuonji, Tsukiji, Hosuke, Eri, and Yuika. The second murder, Yamashiro's fabulous funeral. Impossible to rule any suspect out. As a stretch, we could maybe exclude Miss Kuonji. We don't know when Mr. Yamashiro was killed because we were all looking around after Tokitsu's murder. It's unlikely that the murder was committed within that 10-minute gap, but we couldn't rule it out completely. A third murder, Hosuke and Riddle. Well, who cares? The fourth murder, Beo. It couldn't have been me because I didn't search for Aozaki's sister. Neither could have been Tsukiji, Shizuki, or Ritsuka. The fifth murder, Father Eri's web. We were in the foyer, so it couldn't have been me, Tsukiji, Ritsuka, or Miss Kuonji. The sixth I love how it's just same thing, but you know, different color palette and crack. The Yuika statue. That one didn't matter either. The seventh murder, the elder Aozaki's death by alcohol poisoning. This might actually have been the first murder in the timeline. We could exclude, maybe only Miss Kuonji, barely. That's everything I know. Now it came down to a simple process of elimination. Who was an invisible killer who made everyone laugh? I think the killer must be... Decision 5. Oh, you can actually select all of them. Cool. I mean, judging from the rules of this game... oh wait, this just occurred to me. This is like the screen that they gave us. I mean, I think they mentioned like everyone once. So like... I think it is... Judging from what Kumara was just thinking, it's him. I didn't know who the killer was, but we were the only ones left in the mansion. If I made a random guess and it ended up being eliminated, I was finished. In that case, maybe I should just make a run for it and win the game that way. A shadowy figure crept up behind me. It raised its hand as if to say hello. The primitive directness of his greeting caught me off guard. And I died. Oh man, that was my guess, but they were like, okay, let's exclude these people. And then I was like, okay, by that logic then, I mean, it wasn't my logic. I'm already dead. I struggled to inject calm into my voice and kept my arms and legs from shaking. The voice really was something. So much that I was more than concerned with making it stop than whodunits or howdunnits.
いいから真面目に話せバカ。私笑っちゃったからもうすぐ死ぬのよ。せめて最後にどうしてこうなったのかをぶちまけて。
すまないがそれは説明できない。
For the player.
俺の事情だけだからだ。
What was that supposed to mean? Shizuki could only talk about himself. Does that mean there was someone else?
くまり、君にわかるだろうか。1年間ひたすら冗談のセンスがないと言われ続けた男の気持ちがパーティーを盛り上げようと勇気を振り絞るたびにお呼びじゃないと突っ返される気持ちが
What a pure motive.
よし、わかった。ぶん殴る。
I didn't even want to think about this anymore, but did he seriously do all this to prove that he has a sense of humor? I'd say he failed the moment he put on that ridiculous disguise, but was that any reason to help a murderer?
でもそれで笑うのは青崎とクオンジさんぐらいよ。そんな一発芸で笑う文明人が他にいるはずがない。
いや、でもくまりは
本当にぶん殴るわよ。
ごめんなさい。なんでもないです。
なんでもないです。
あれでしょ、築地たちを笑わせたのは青崎の写真でしょ。
そうだ、あれこそ切り札だ。同時にそれは俺への報酬でもある。
It was a treat for me too. Yum. Any of the guys who knew Awazaki would laugh at that picture of her, particularly Mr. Yamashiro, Tsukiji, and Father Eri.
つまり犯人は。
I tried to speak, but the words didn't come out. I played right into Sweetheart's hand. The killer Shizuki was the last person left standing, while I failed to guess correctly and just stood there, mind blanked. I was just one step away. I'd almost figured it all out. If I just focused more in that evening and thought it through a bit more. Bad end. Man, that's a lot of bad ends in this. Alright. Well, one last time. So yeah, I was basing off this where like, okay, let's follow Kumara's line of logic then. But I was thinking it was Sojiro. So let's see what happens if we pick him this time. Oh, not enough evidence. Alright, so it results in the same thing. But this time it's probably not because we guessed the wrong person. Maybe because we just don't have enough evidence. So this is where like the choices matter. I see. Well, I gotta look up a guide for all the bad ends then, because I do want to see most of them. Okay, I'm kind of using a guide, but not really. It's more like a Reddit post, but I'm hoping that it kind of has all the bad endings, because I can't tell how many bad endings are in this. So one of them is just going home early. I should just go home. Maybe I should just go home.
天気予報はずっとお日様マークだったのに。本降りになったら帰りは大変かも。ほら、山の中ほどまでしか上がってこないでしょ、タクシー。
Ritsuka was right. If you really want to go home, you'd have to be ready to get soaked to the bone. Thinking about it, I couldn't believe Awazaki stuck out the commute to and from school for over 2 years. I was impressed.
あれ？どうしたの、コジカちゃん。みんな今にいるんじゃないの？
いえ、部屋に忘れ物があるんです。皆さん先に行っていてください。
Just peace. I'm not gonna deal with this. I retrieved my overnight bag from the guest room and returned to the foyer. I could hear Ritsuka and the others laughing in the drawing room. Reluctantly, I left the Kuonji estate. I'm not exactly sure why I want to go home. Maybe I felt overwhelmed by the mansion. Maybe it just wasn't my scene. Or maybe it was because Tsukiji was there. It was probably a combination of all three. The sun was nearly below the horizon. If I could just get home before dark, I can end today without incident. I wasn't ready to face Tsukiji with entry exams around the corner. Walking down Shiro Unazuka, I told myself that this was for the best. But then, I suddenly recalled another urban legend. Descend the mountains alone in the witching hour, and a cannibal will be waiting for you at the bottom. What? Long before the Kuonji estate was built, this mountain was a home to a monster who attacked and killed anyone foolish enough to stray too far from their group. The words attacked and killed made it sound more human than ate. It was probably someone who was cast out of their village. Wow, these are some dark thoughts I'm having. Uh-oh. I must have taken a wrong turn. I was back behind the Kuonji estate.
おかしいな。ちゃんと下に向かってたわよね。
I thought out loud, try to ease my tension. Wait, what was that? A shadow in the shades of the tree? It looked human.
誰?
My voice rang out. No response. It was getting dark out. There wasn't even a breeze. Now I remembered why I want to go home. Yeah, I had a feeling that something bad would happen if I stayed. Uh-oh. Something impossible unfolded before my eyes. I felt a sudden shock in my stomach. Reflexively, I brought my hand to my mouth. Too late. I fell to the ground. Warm blood flowed out of me along with my strength. My hands helplessly reached to the sky for help. It took the last of my strength, but I managed to catch sight of a shadow. Wait, it's Sojo's voice and a female voice. I think the voice is Kumari's voice. Oh my god, it got killed. Something axe-shaped came down swinging down. The last words I've ever heard came from someone with the face of a monster. Wow, okay. Sojo really wants to get this game going. There should be a bad end here. So I guess it's stay in our rooms until morning? I felt that was best for everyone to stay in different guest rooms until morning.
話はここまでです。疑心暗鬼をこれ以上深める必要はないでしょう。犯人は分からずとも解決する手段は明白なのですから。
Just like that, Sister Yuika took the reins. Nobody objected to her display of authority. Well, mostly nobody. Ritsuka was sulking.
皆さんはそれぞれ客室で夜を過ごしてください。きちんと鍵をかけて朝まで誰も入れないように。私とエイリ神父、リツカの3人はここで寝ずの番をしますので、何か異常があるようでしたら駆けつけます。
まあ妥当なところね。教会組も犯人候補だけど、ユイカさんだけはプロイである可能性はないんだし。
それはなぜ？
魔女嫌いのユイカさんはプロイキッシャーの口車には乗らないでしょ。さ、そうと分かったら解散。各自必要なものを手にしたら客室に戻って朝まで籠城すること。あとトイレは物理的に我慢して。
The plan to hole up in our rooms was accepted before I could say anything. It did seem like the safest and simplest plan.
俺の部屋は使えないな。飛び丸、そっちの客室に行っていいか？
Tobimaru's gonna die.
ああ、木の実がいなくなったからな。ちょうどいい。
Tsukiji took some cookies and a pitcher of water from Suzuki before heading begrudgingly for the foyer.
ちょっと待って。築地はそれでいいの？
よくはねえが、多数決なら仕方がねえ。問題を解決せずに封殺しちまうのは民主主義の欠点だな。しかしまあ、これも鉄板の選択だ。何かあったら大声で助けを呼んでくれや。俺も2階だからすぐに駆けつけられる。
Ugh, I should have never canceled my concert. Alice, show me to my room, and by that, I mean your room, obviously, not a guest room. I know I can't expect a royal suite here, so I'll suffer the owner's room.
私は自分の部屋にいるから、朝まで誰も近づいちゃダメよ。
Yeah, there's not a dead body in there.
僕はここで寝てるよ。何かあったら起こしてね。
Everyone went their separate ways. Doubt still nagged at me, but I went to my assigned guest room for the time being. Well, yeah, that also maybe Kumari is the sweethearts, and for some reason Sojo is helping out. It would explain why he has a copy, or at least has Kumari's picture of Aoko, because otherwise I don't know how he'd get it. I locked the door and laid on the bed. Just in case, I decided not to change into my pajamas.
笑ったら死ぬとかわけがわからないけど。
Someone or something was clearly trying to kill us all. I turned on to my side, thoughts racing. To me, Tsukichi and Father Eri were too rational. They overlooked something. I wasn't fixated on the culprit's face or identity. I was more concerned with the why done it. Why did the culprit have to gain by killing all of us, or us all? I was roused by the sound of the wind. The lights were out. I didn't remember turning them off before I went to sleep. I got up and tried the light switch, but nothing happened. Oh no. I wanted to check the time, but that wasn't happening in this darkness. I tried my best to go back to sleep and pretend everything was okay, but I was too on edge. I could barely even stay still.
青崎の部屋が一番近いよね。
I moved as quietly as possible to the door, unlocked it, and peeked into the hallway. Uh-oh. It seemed empty. The only sound came from the wind and the rain. As if led by something, I ventured into the hallway and towards the Aozaki's room. I placed my hand on her doorknob. It was unlocked. Inside her room I found a dead body, the corpse of a woman I've never seen before. Did I just scream? Did I just manage to hold it in? I couldn't tell. The rain tonight was too intense. Creak, creak. Oh, that wasn't the rain. It was the sound of the hinges. I realized the door was swinging and looked in its direction. It was coming from the room next to Aozaki's. Shizuki told me before that it was her study. Something was on the door. A liquid, thick and red like paint. Inside the study, I found the gruesome sight of Aoko Aozaki. Oh, it's the same image. I ran down the hallway. I didn't care about making noise anymore. The storm was too loud to hear anything. I threw open the door to each guest room. In the third room, I find the lifeless body of a boy who's been on my mind for 3 years. I thought he was supposed to disappear. Panting, I nearly rolled down the stairs. Too fast, I fell. My body bounced off the steps and rolled into the foyer. Nobody was around. The front door was wide open, as if we had a visitor. My instincts told me that the church members were already... I heard faint footsteps. The sound of the storm faded. All sounds around me washed away. In front of me, I felt nothing. No fear, no anger. My heart was as calm as a lake. I laid eyes on the stormy night killer. 2 eyes flashed in the darkness. Light glinted off the weapon in her hands. Their face was unworldly, twisted, demonic. It was the last thing I ever saw. Okay. Dead end. Okay, that's what happens if you choose L wrong. So in decision N, you're supposed to choose I agree, I think, and that'll lead to another bad ending. There are a lot. Oh my god. I agreed that was the best option we had. It's probably just go to bed. So it'll probably be the same thing.
いい加減ケツを取りましょう。自分の部屋に閉じこもって朝を待つに賛成な人。
I raised my hand. In favor were Aozaki, Yuika, Shizuki, and Beo, who voted along with Shizuki. Against were Ritsuka, Father Eri, Tsukiji, and Miss Kuonji. With Beo as a tiebreaker, our side won.
決まりね。それじゃあ各自部屋にこもってしっかり鍵かけて朝まで外に出ないこと。必要なものがあったら台所から持って行って。あとトイレは精神的に耐え切って。
Everyone had to be exhausted from a long night of deduction. We barely spoke as we headed off to our respective rooms. I'm gonna assume this is gonna be like the same. Just in case, yeah. So let's fast forward parts of it. Day was almost over, so 3-day break would come to an... oh wait, it's a little bit different. 3-day break would come to an close. I never imagined spending a vacation like this in a million years. I like how all the endings are like slightly different.
すごく眠い。 私
My eyelids grew heavy the instant I lay down. I knew I still had things to consider, but warm slumber embraced me in moments. Oh wow, yeah, the rest is the same then. Alright, well then. You know, I think I'm gonna try to finish the game today. Although, like, right now I'm gonna take a break and do this another day. But, like, I think I'm gonna fit all the bad endings for, like, one last video for this thing. It's like one last hurrah. It's gonna be super long, but it'll be pretty funny. Alright, so this time we're back. With Decision R. Decision R, I forgot what the context for this was, but I can rest easy as a choice for I think the last bad ending other than like some at the very end. So I'll continue with this. I can rest easy now. Whoa, that's red text. I'm scared. I returned to my room alone. Even with Aozaki in confinement, we still had to stay on guard. I locked the door to my room and laid on my bed. All that was left to do was wait for morning. Oh, right. One thing I want to mention. So right now I'm actually recording on a different day, but like it didn't occur to me. I feel so stupid. But I had May Riddle Arshalot muted the entire time so she didn't have her voice. Oh no, I feel so dumb. I don't remember when I turned her off. It was the same with like the others, I think. I think this was also off. But like that means the entire time she did have a voice, I just gave her my own voice. No! But I turned it back on. Hopefully for the true ending, we'll see some stuff. So much had happened, but at least I could finally sleep without worrying. God, if you're listening, make everything go back to how it was by the time I wake up. "5:30 once more. That means everyone's already dead except for Sojiro, who's going around killing everyone. I woke up to the sounds of birds chirping outside. Oh, what? The clock read 5:30. The sun was beginning to peek over the horizon. Okay, this is kind of similar. Yeah. I foggily examined my wrinkled clothes in the mirror. It was quiet outside. Storm never happened. A vague premonition coming on. It was quiet. Air was crisp. Tsukiji's room is clean and tidy. Aries is clean and tidy. Ritsuko's was clean and tidy. Nope, no one's alive. Alright, I'm gonna try to go to where it had like the differentiating points. Oh no, Aozaki is still dead. Who would have thunk it? Oh wow, it ends like that? It was like, well, how's that dead end? Game over, victory to the real killer. And then, yeah. Alright, I think that's the last one. So from now on, I kind of have to go through the true route until like the very end where there's like a decision to make so that I can choose like the bad decision in that route. I think it's when I have to do everything right in order to get like the right evidence. And I gotta look up a guide for this. I don't know how many choices actually matter, but I'm just gonna follow a guide that I found on Reddit when I googled it. So I'm gonna do just that. Alright, let's start from the beginning and get the true ending. I'm not exactly sure where like the key choices pop up, but I'm gonna start off here where I say the numbers are off. But we guess we don't really get too much text. Oh, okay, whoa. It grew into a loud roar that seemed to pound the very walls of the building. I forgot that if you fast forward, it'll stop at any unread text. Oh, we're all distracted. Oh, she's here. Actually, I want to hear her voice.
アリスさんに謝罪と。
私はいいのよ。ちゃんと後でお金払ったし。
Ah, okay.
アリスだってキャッシュで受け取ったんだし。あれはもう私のもの。
Oh man, I really wish. I really wish I'd noticed I accidentally muted her. Don't know if this is a key choice or not, but I'm gonna choose some kind of bread here because now we know that, well, the theory is, you know, that he was exploded using flour. Broadly speaking, I think the weapon used was bread. Oh, okay, never mind. I guess it's skippable, and they just explain it. Illusion of choice. Oh no, she's dead. Okay, decision H. It says it's a key choice, so we should focus on Tokitsu's death. I did not do that. I think last time, I think most of the times I chose, I should point out that we're one person down. I thought about it, and then concluded that Yurihiko's death was what we had to focus on now. Oh, whoa. I guess it just skipped a whole bunch.
どうかしら。そうはいかないと思うわよ、ゆいちゃん。
律香、それはどういう？
木の実くんやリデルさんはともかく、時津さんは無理やり誰かに笑わされた可能性があるんだから。
So I don't think this is the same as last
それに、
time.
あっちゃんはこう言ったわ。使用者が定めた条件だって。
では。
Maybe it
犯人
is.
がいるってこと。そいつが誰かはわからないけど、こんなルールを作った以上、何としても私たちを笑わせようとするんじゃない？
No, this sounds similar to something that we've already read.
そうでなくても。
Yeah, I'll skip it. Yamashiro's freaking dead! Oh, it's alibi time. Alright, according to this, the one that is the choice that they chose is Aozaki's story doesn't add up. Not sure why. I'm gonna look at her story again. So she said that this morning I went shopping in town with Kumari straight away in the afternoon. For some reason Yamashiro was there. We arrived at the mansion sometime after 2. After saying hello to Tobimaru in the drawing room, I spent the rest of the time between there and the sunroom. I went to the bathroom a few times, but I didn't see Toki once. Not sure what's suspect about that. The thing I had that was suspect about it was the shopping part, but I don't know. For this one, decision J, it was Shizuki's story doesn't add up, and I did choose that last time. And for decision K, it was also Ritsuka's story doesn't add up, so I also chose that last time. Okay, so this one is decision L, and we know that we have to check this one or else we got a bad ending here. So Riddle's alibi. Oh, I want to hear this. She talks so fast.
会社の立て直しでキャッシュがない？期待プラススタッフごと買い取らなきゃならん？上等じゃない。その程度私がいくらでも稼いであげるってな。アラブの坊ちゃん宅だろうが、チャイナの金満家のところだろうが、プライベートライブ2、3発ぶちかましてあげるわよ。それでお釣りが来るでしょ？
For the oil sheik, she was like, oh, it's just some Arab young majesty or something. Yeah, I really wish that I turned on her voice because she has a really good voice too. It very suits her bitchiness. And for decision M, I don't know if this is a key choice or not, but you can tell hallway because it's funny. I forgot. Oh my god, she's a penguin. I forgot about it. Decision N is sounds dangerous because, you know, that would also lead to a bad end. Because there is a... We should focus on how the phone line was cut? Alright. I thought it was best to tackle the problem now.
それじゃあ各自自分の部屋に。ちょっと待って。その前に確かめたいことがある。みんな、今日のゲストは何人か。
Wait,
分かってる？
that's not what I chose though. Okay.
何人かってクオンジ入れて13人だろ。それがどうかしたか？
それはリデルを入れての話？
Well, I guess maybe it's like similar. I don't know. I am not following Aozaki to die this time. Once again, let's wait for all 3 to return in decision P. Come to think of it, Bayo is for decision Q. Man, I just really like this moment. Yuika, who laughed out of character, she's like, ah, dead. Oh, dead Toko from over intoxication. Okay, decision R. It should be... I'm not so sure about that because resting easy leads to death. Some good time with Tobimaru. Okay, so for decision S, this is about when Toko was probably killed. I originally chose 4 to 6, but honestly, Aoko was hiding her from us before 3 o'clock, so it's probably between 2 and 4, and 2 and 4 is the answer. Alright. I think Toko Aozaki was the first victim.
ああ、そう考えないと青崎の行動はおかしい。
Yeah.
青崎は午前中は町で買い物をしていた。青崎姉はあいつが部屋を留守にしている間、くまりたちを連れて一息ついて部屋に戻るまでの間に殺されたと見るべきだろう。
Aozaki was out shopping all morning. Her big sister must have been killed sometime after she left. But before she brought you all... No! No, that's not true because we saw Toko outside. Like, oh, okay, so that was probably necessary then.
15時半頃、私2階廊下で青崎とすれ違ったけど、あの時東館の奥、青崎の部屋は演歌地獄になってたわけね。
Oh, she was drowning herself in oldies, but I think that might have been Toko instead.
まあ、断定できない以上、憶測は憶測でしかねえけどな。それよりだ、くまり。ネックはいつ殺したかじゃなく、どうやって殺したかだと思わねえか。
Alright, I think this part's the same. Okay, as long as I lock the door. Nah, yeah. So, as long as I lock the door, but I won't be able to sleep. Goodbye, Tobimaru. We'll see ya next time. And you're going to be dead. Okay, for decision U, we have to guess who the killer is. So, once again, we have the layout of all the people here, and all of Kumari's mental notes. I am curious what happens if we choose Kumari, because a lot of these detective mystery things sometimes make it so that it's an unreliable narrator, and maybe we're the killer. No, actually I can skip through it. Okay, nah, it's just the same as this. Alright, so as we know, the person is Shizuki. This time we should have enough evidence. It was Shizuki. If the facts were pointing to anyone, it was him. He knew this mansion inside out. He'd been helping out with the birthday party, so he'd move about freely without raising suspicion. But the biggest piece of evidence was a glaring discrepancy between his and Miss Kuonji's alibis. Shizuki said that he was in the mansion in the morning. However, that's not what his landlady said. She said that no one was around to help, so she locked up the place up herself. If she did that on a regular basis, she wouldn't have bothered to mention that. Miss Kuonji wanted either Shizuki or Aozaki to lock the doors. Aozaki said that she was in town that morning. That's likely why her sister was able to enter her room. Shizuki lied about being at the mansion at the time.
決め手がそれだけっていうのがなんとも弱いけど。
I felt that there was more that I could pin on him, but I wasn't sure what now. Right now. I had to find Shizuki before morning, before... I found him. Someone was behind me.
あんたが犯人ね、Shizuki!
She didn't fall for laughing this time, because she walked him in the face. Eat this! I took my trusty walk and swing it as hard as I could before he could lay a hand on me. It connected. Hard. Harder than it should have. Shizuki, I only saw him briefly, but I knew it was him. He collapsed to the ground, and a strange item tumbled onto the floor. It was a kind of cheap fake glasses and nose that you find in any bag of party tricks. Oh no, it's a floating face!
そんなんで笑わせるとかあり?
You can hear her stifling a laugh. The only ones who would were Miss Kuonji, who didn't get out much, and Aozaki, who thought so much of Shizuki. Okay, so Shizuki probably killed Aozaki with this. Whatever, I started running. As long as I guessed the killer correctly, I'd beaten the game. But maybe Shizuki would recover and come after me. I decided to escape through the foyer. If I could make it to the forest outside, I'd win. It had to be morning by now. Whoa. It was still dark outside. What? How? How is it still dark out?
あなた、よくもやってくれたわね。
Wait, what's this? Eh? A resentful female voice croaked from the foyer. Wait, female? But who was it? I thought Shizuki was a killer. Oh wait, there's more to this, wow. Run! Just run! I was confused, but I could still run. I tripped and fell. As I stood up, I tried to take a second to think. I was mistaken. The game was still on. If that was true, then Sweetheart had won. Shizuki was the killer. I was sure of it. I'd said it out loud, and I was still alive, wasn't I? Remember the rules. If you accuse someone and you're wrong, you die. As long as I was still alive, Shizuki had to be the killer. Was I wrong? Was I missing something?
さっきの犯人当てあれがヒントなのは間違いない。考えるんだ。順序立ててそもそも何が原因なのか。
I heard footsteps getting louder. Morning was almost here. This is my last and only chance. Decision W. Oh! Okay, for decision W, this is the right choice. Are there 2 types of murders? But I kind of want to just choose something wrong to see what the bad end for this is. This wasn't working. I couldn't think straight. At this rate, I'd never figure out who the killer was. If I couldn't use my head, I'd have to rely on my legs and get out of here. Oh, and the rest is gonna be similar. The game would end if I just keep from getting caught until sunrise. As long as I survived, Sweethearts wouldn't win. The storm was over. If I could just make it to the city, everything would go back to normal. Nope, she got back to the mansion. I've been heading downhill all this time. How am I back at the mansion? I've been heading downhill all this time. How did I get... Wait, did she just... Oh wait, she just said this. Wait, what? The ground distorted. My senses went haywire. I must have done something wrong. Oh, that's the death sound. Suddenly, a voice whispered in my ear. Okay. It was a voice of terror I'd never heard before. Yet it sounded so familiar. Bad end. So, the right choice. There are 2 types of murders. There had to be 2. Yeah, 2. It was impossible to explain some of the things if there was only one method. But what if there were 2? First, to consider the nature of the murders. They could be divided up into times that the killer made the victim laugh, and times when the victim saw a dead body and laughed. Hosuke, Riddle, Sister Yuika fell under the latter self-destructive category, but it might have applied to another victim too. Bayo. Bayo died outside the sunroom after he laughed. There was nothing in the sunroom that could have made him laugh. It was unlikely anything had been set up in the forest, not when the weather was so bad. So the trap must have been laid inside, but not in the sunroom. What about above the sunroom, or on the 2nd floor? Aozaki's bedroom was directly above the sunroom. Maybe someone had asked Bayo to look up into Aozaki's room from the outside, and then Bayo had seen something. Toko, out of her mind, dead drunk. Bayo knew Toko well. There was definitely a chance he'd laugh if he saw her like that. It was ingenious as traps went. Either way, even if he didn't laugh, that person who asked him simply told him to check so they wouldn't seem suspicious. It'll only make people suspect Aozaki sooner.
殺害方法は2種類あったんだ。
Two MOs.
直接的な方法とその後の犠牲者を利用した二次災害。
Yeah.
それと同じように。
There are 2 killers. Riddle's suggestions, Tsukiji's suspicions. Teams of 2, intimate betrayal, 2 minds, 1 body. So, Sweethearts, the prayer Ploy Kickshaw. In retrospect, it was such a revealing name. If Sweets refers to the pudding body, then what about the heart?
人間だ。敵は複数形だった。
Multiple forms? That meant that there were 2 Sweethearts. In this game, the killer and the prime suspect had to be separate people. The prime suspect used the ploy, while their accomplice carried out the killings. Yeah, I think I mentioned that before. The killer may or may not be the person who was actually the person who activated the ploy. Shizuki merely played the role of the suspect. I had guessed correctly, but I hadn't seen the full picture. That must be why I wasn't out of the woods yet, so to speak.
待って。
No, wait, 1 stir-fried second. Fired. Wait, fired?
もう答えは明白。あとは、ほら、あの問題を検証すればいいだけだ。
Decision X. Who has magical energy? Who could activate a ploy? Who's always being watched by everyone? So, who could activate a ploy is the correct answer. Let's try who has magical energy. Nope, just died the same way. Gotcha. Who could activate a ploy? Only one of them could have caused all this to happen. I considered who could have acted the ploys. It's impossible to find if you don't know. One was missing from the vault. The door is blocking the way. Koenji locked it. Scattered invitations. Who to trust? 3-day weekend birthday party. The first is the wrong. Wait, if the first one is the wrong. Right. Our prime suspect was... So I know this is gonna be wrong, but I want to see the wrong answer, so I'm gonna choose Sojiro. Was there a simpler explanation? Because I'm the last survivor. Nope, nope. Alright, so who is the person who activated it? Well, the answer is... Yep, it's Kumari. I wonder when we could have done it. It said that the 3-day weekend was a key factor. Huh. Well, we'll see. Was there a simpler explanation? I'm sure now, because everything happened the way I decided it should. I tried the other decisions for Z and just kind of led to the same ending as the other ones, so I'm just gonna choose the right one.
私だ。
It's me. It could only be. The fact that everything had gone just the way I thought was proof above all that I was sweethearts. As sweethearts, I couldn't remember anything that worked against me. I had to look at this objectively. Who activated the ploy kickshaw on the day of the party? The answer was no one. Miss Koenji personally locked the room where she stored her ploys. No one could have possibly break inside. As long as there weren't any special tricks, we could eliminate that possibility entirely. It was only logical. Therefore, if someone took the ploy, they had to have done it before today. They would have to have broken in before she locked the vault. Only someone who had accidentally come on the first day of the long weekend would have had the opportunity. So why did they come on the first day by mistake? Simple. The invitation itself was wrong. A birthday party will be held at the start of the long weekend. The blockhead who wrote that on the invitations sent them out to 3 people in total. Of those people, Toko Aozaki probably had it all figured out, but she laughed at something that she wasn't expecting, so that took care of her. Then there was Mr. Yamashiro. He'd said that he'd gotten his invitation that morning. Everyone else had received theirs before that. It's highly likely that it was delivered directly into his mailbox instead of being mailed. If Shizuki was working with the prime suspect, then they likely edited the invitation. Shizuki became an accomplice on the first day, and then invited Mr. Yamashiro on the morning of the second day. This was to hide the fact that the prime suspect was accidentally invited on the first day. Mr. Yamashiro wasn't invited to be killed, but to act as an alibi for the culprit. Then, there was me. I was sure that the party would be on the first day of the long weekend. Based on all this information, the only people who could have activated the ploy were me and Shizuki. I can only imagine the kind of hospitality he must have offered to Kojika Kumari for suddenly showing up on the wrong day. But it wasn't unreasonable that he put out tea and snacks for a fellow schoolmate. The problem is, where did Shizuki obtain those snacks from?
気づいちゃったか。もう少しで私の勝ちだったのに、あの子も予想以上にうまくやっていたんだけどな。
Just then, from the mansion, another me appeared from the mansion, the one who had been Shizuki chasing me. This is the true form.
あんたがスイーツハーツ。
Oh, it's got some animations too, even though it's just going up and down. I got up off my knees to face my other self. She nodded, yes, admitting defeat.
そういうあなたもスイーツハーツだけどね。私は彼に化けていた方で、あなたは彼女に化けていた方。でもあなたはクマリコジカと完全に同じだから、スイーツハーツとしての記憶を持ってるのは私だけだけど。
She's an alien.
あっそ。じゃあ消えて。これでゲームクリアでしょ。もうじき完全に日が昇るわ。いいの？クリアしちゃって。 このままならあなたの勝ちなのに、勝者の報酬は惜しくないの？
What's the prize?
何それ、聞いてない。どういうこと？くまり小鹿が私を食べるとき、何を願って、何を迷っていたかって話。
It's gonna be about Tobimaru, or maybe her future in college plans.
終わりたくない。もっと今がこの半熟卵みたいな曖昧な生活が続けばいいと思ったでしょ？なんで高校生活は3年だけなのか。どうして自分はあんな無駄な時間を過ごしたのか。なんで素直になれなかったのか。
The Queen of Hearts.
そういうの全部ひっくるめて叶えてあげるのが私。願掛け卵思春期限定女の子限定のプロイキッシャースイーツハーツなの。どう？納得なんていくわけないでしょ。脳書きはいいし、何があったかなんて知りたくもないから。もうおしゃべりはたくさん。ノータイムでリセットよ。
Time's up.
あんたはここで。だって私の
Wait.
片思い。
Uh-oh. At the end of the day.
消えて。犯人はしずき。使用者は私。くまり小鹿よ。
Oh, it's unrequited. She confirmed it. No.
そんな女の子にあるまじき。
Bye-bye. There wasn't anything left to wish for now that Tsukiji was dead. Gotta bring in the boy back. So, I think... Does everyone forget what happens? Yeah, I think everyone forget what happens. Did time actually pass in that case? I don't know. I woke up to find myself on a wooden floor. Oh my god. Got this real bad hangover.
なんでこんなところに？
I slowly picked myself up. This was the hall of the Kuonji estate. The grandfather clock told me it was almost 7 in the morning. At the edge of the foyer was a woman dressed like a nun, collapsed on the floor like me. Oh, she was just asleep. The mansion was quiet, but I could hear several noises if I strained my ears. There was a clinking of kitchenware, footsteps down the corridors, old doors creaking, and...
おい、どうなってんだこれは。なんで俺らクオンジの家で寝てんだ。起きろ木の実、話聞かせろ。
A familiar voice echoed through the second floor. Somehow, the tightness in my chest lightened and I stood up. To be honest, I was relieved. I glanced down and saw something like an eggshell and a note. There was just a few words on the note, scribbled in pink crayon.
恋に生きたっていいんじゃない？は？
Huh. Stupid sweet brain. Even after you're dead, you're still a pain in the ass. Oh wait, so Kumari remembers. Besides, I was too passive to do that. It's how I fell for a trap to begin with. だよね. Sweet's heart's tone was lively, yet strangely encouraging. Cracks began forming in the eggshell, and then it crumbled. Taking everything, and even in my memories with it. Oh, that's when they forget. Okay.
なんかあった気がするんだけど。
I feel like I forgot something. I picked up the note in front of me and frowned at it. Irritated by the presumptuous, obnoxious scribblings, I crumpled it up and, after a moment's hesitation, stowed it in my pocket.
お、くまりも来てるじゃねえか。
Yeah.
どうなってんだこれ。パーティーの開始、午前中に変更したのか。
So did you just lose an entire day, or did that day all happen in like the span of like a second? There was a commotion coming from the stairs. Plus, the face of a guy that I hadn't heard was coming. I quickly turned away and checked myself in the nearby mirror. Good, nothing too out of place.
どうなってるか聞きたいのはこっちの方よ。クオンジさんの誕生会って本当に今日なの？招待状の日付間違えてたんじゃって あれ
Where was this deja vu coming from? Must have been my imagination. It was awfully rare to have a birthday party out at the Kuonji estate. Our high school days were numbered. The season would be over before we knew it. I had to make sure I finished it with no regrets.
お、小鹿じゃん。お前も呼ばれたわけ？アリスちゃんと面識あったのかよ。
そりゃあるわよ。青崎と友達やってれば。てか少しは落ち着けホウスケ。あんたガキの頃から成長ないんだから。
おうおう、さすが幼なじみ。仲がいいことで。
Oh right, they were childhood friends.
その調子で木の実をしつけてやれよ、くまり。周りと何より本人のためになるぜ。
いや、奥積まれたってお断り。労働と報酬が釣り合わないし、私無駄骨折ってる時間ないし。こいつ叩いても叩いても元通りになる形状記憶合金だし。
ちげえね。じゃあまあ、こいつはほっといてクオンジに挨拶に行くか。青崎、
whoops.
その前にあそこシスターが倒れてるぜ、殿下。
Yeah, there's none.
俺が抱き起こしちゃっていいかな。
Okay, sure. Wait, you've met her before.
いいんじゃねえの。最悪てめえが乗されるだけだし。
Tsukiji sounded like he was enjoying himself. His travel through the hall? I guess his laugh? Dust particles flitted in the air, appearing and disappearing in the rays coming through the skylight.
まあそういうオチもいいっちゃいいか。
An oddly cheerful voice summed up her honest thoughts. The mad rhapsody drew to a close. She smiled in her own way, each to their own. Everyone had a choice, to lament the little time one had left, or to gamble on it. Perhaps we find things beautiful because they don't last. Someday, this would all end, but not just yet. This jolly tale was simply another book to add to the shelf. Youth is both fleeting and never-ending. The stories of young boys and girls are full of hardships yet unseen. Which means, my friends, we shall no doubt meet again. Is that the end? That's the end of the game! The Kuonji Estate. Anyone can sleep, but not laugh. Cast: Detective Kochiga Kumari. Heroine Friend A, Sacrifice. Aoko Aozaki. Told you. Alice Kuonji, Sleeping Beauty. Sojiro Shizuki, leaves unexpectedly. Toby Maru, Gone Like the Wind. Hosuke, Bomb Victim. Eri, Storm Night Tragedy. Ritsuka, Sentenced to Tickling via Electric Chair. Yuisa, Petrification. Yamashiro, Died Happy. Tokitsu, Flower. Beowulf, Fluffy Form. Bros and Dad, Kumari's. Okay, Black Hawk, a special guest. Alright. Cosmo Murder. Wait, what's that? Sweethearts just did all the work. Oh, Toki did the art. Editing, Robin the Crook. Puppet Kuonji. Aw, man. That's music just taken from the game. Oh, this is so dumb. Oh, but it was pretty funny. I really enjoyed this extra side story. It was really funny and just really entertaining. Oh, man. Koyama Hirokazu is such a good artist too. Yeah. For like an extra side story that's technically canon, like I guess like a few months after the main game, it was pretty nice. I think that was definitely what I needed to end off the game, because like the ending of the main game, the main story, really left like a void in my heart, and I was like, oh man, I really need something to fill it. And this really fit the spot, but it didn't really leave another hole in my heart. So it just kind of helped me finish this this game on a good note. Well, yeah. I honestly, I had my suspicions on Shizuki and Kumari a tiny bit. Honestly, the only reason I ever like suspected Kumari was because of the, not even based off the clues that they gave us, but it was based off the trope of the unreliable narrator. So or unreliable detective or protagonist. That's the only reason. So honestly, I don't think I'm gonna say I didn't call this one at all. I definitely called Shizuki throughout the story. I thought he was gonna be the victim, to be honest, but no, he ended up being the accomplice. But I think that's as far as I got. But it was still a pretty interesting mystery. Definitely a really wacky one. We didn't see Tokitsu's portrait at all in this entire case, other than when you can choose the victim. I mean, choose the accomplice and or the suspect. So I kind of feel like that was a little bit wasted because like I kind of wish we could talk to him more and see him interact with other folks. And another thing is they kept talking about that summer event that happened right before this. It was like where Tobimaru like shielded Kumari and like broke his arm or something. I want to know more about that. Come on! Come on! I thought they were gonna talk about it during the case, but no! Produced by Type Moon. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's the skip button. Yeah, that's the last book, and now we finished the game. No way! There's more! Oh my god! Okay, you know what? This might sound weird, but like, I have one last thing I want to do for this, and I don't know if it'll be long enough or it'll be short enough. But so I originally got the special edition or limited edition, I don't really remember which one, for this game. So it came with the art book. And when I was browsing through the art book after finishing the base game or the story mode, I found that there was actually just a side story in the book. I believe it's actually online too. If you want to find it, I'm sure you can browse it. Ironically, it is also called The Honey Adventure, and I'm not exactly sure what it's about, but it might be very different. But I think next time I'm going to like read through it and maybe have some footage of, I don't know, like a GIF or maybe like a speed paint or something. But I plan on reading that, just, you know, reading it straight from the book. And that'll be the last video for this. Yeah, but before that, we gotta learn about the ploys. We gotta abuse my boy a little bit more. Oh, nice! I was wondering, like, man, we talked about the ploys, but we never actually learned about the Wonder Snatch. So let's go. The Wonderful World of Ploys 5. Roar, the Great 3.
この蒼天に浮かれてついタイトルコールを叫んでしまった。
Oh, they're going to explain Sweethearts in this as well.
しかし指定場所に来たもののアリスさんの姿はなし。時間と場所は合ってるはずなんすけど、もう一回タイトルコールしてみるっすか。
That's the reason why they had to save this for the end. I see. I see.
その必要はないわ。私は昨日からビバーク中なのだから。
She's been here all along. She's a bean. Oh, she's got a new outfit.
なんすかその完全装備。ファッションから入るなんちゃって登山家。
アマチュアバード。
Spoken like a true amateur. Wah! Killed him.
ピッケル。
山を甘く見ないことよ。渡り鳥が山越えをするとき、何割かは越えられずに脱落死する話を知らないのかしら。油断すれば即デッド。隙あらばこれキリング。それが神々の住まう頂への礼儀と知りなさい。
つまりいつもと何も変わらないってことっすね。
Wait, your chicken jalfrezi has ever.
繰り返すわ。山と私を甘く見ないで。今日はいつもの2倍はやる気に満ちている。やっべえ、なんかスイッチ入ってるっす。
Crikey, you're really into it, eh?
さあ、なぜなにプロイの時間よ、ロビン。 今日は気分がいいからとっておきの話をするとしましょう。
ああ、ついに来たっすね。三大プロイグレート3について。
Well, great three. So the great three are Flat Snark, the Thames Troll, and Wander Snatch, I believe.
アリスさんの母上のそのまた母上のそのまた母上の、とにかく初代っすね。初代の頃から伝わってきた3つの奇跡。
Now it's the great two because one of them, actually two of them are destroyed.
それが三大プロイ。初めの魔女が作ったとされる偉大な賛否。橋の巨人テムズトロル、月の油フラットスナーク。3つ目はあれ、何だったっす？
最後の一体はまだ秘密よ。今回はテムズの
Oh wait, is it not the
話をしましょ
Wander
う。
Snack?
元になったマザーグースはロンドン橋。ロンドン橋落ちた落ちた、ロンドン橋落ちた、マイフェアレディ。
Name, Bridge Giant. Component, varies with the version. Original form, a figurine of a lady. Manifestation size, suppression, varies with the summoning site. Weakness, can only be summoned near a river. No matter the golem's size, it will cease to function if its original form is broken.
日本語訳されて音楽の教材にもなっているから知っている人も多いでしょうね。
You know, I was always used to London bridges falling down, falling down, falling down, London bridges falling down, My Fair Lady. I wonder if this is like the actual version, and maybe the one I'm thinking of is the wrong version, or they changed it for some other reason. I'm too ignorant to know.
別名って落ちたらです。こいつザクを相手にしか活躍してないっすよね。
相手が悪かったのよ。それに私との相性も悪いし、実は私テムズをうまく使えないの。私が権限させられるのは2段階目まで。3番目と4番目の歌詞は未知の領域よ。
3番目と4番目ってなんすか？
ロンドン橋の歌詞よ。火と土は流される。レンガとモルタルは崩れてしまう。鉄と鋼は折れ曲がる。銀と金は盗まれる。テムズはロンドン橋のプロイだけど、時代に沿ってそのあり方を変えてきた。だから今はマザーグース通り4種類の姿がある。
Oh, this has 4 different forms. Wow.
ウッド、ストーンの他にまだ先があるんすね。でもいいっすか？こんな簡単に奥の手を晒しちゃって。
ええ、ロンドン橋の歌詞なんて今時調べれば誰だってわかるのだし。そもそも私どうあってもストーンまでしか使えないわ。ネタをばらしても支障はないでしょ。
どうして使えないんすか？
私人間の文明社会に興味がないもの。私の心象世界にある橋は木と石までということね。
なんと無敵のアリスさんにも弱点があったんすね。
Oh, she's got a weakness.
ああ、いや、振り返ってみればそんなに無敵じゃなかったっすね。
Oh, he's gonna die. He's gonna die. No, 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 no.
自分と恐ろす。でも風の噂によるとテムズトロルは世界屈指のゴーレムと聞いたっすよ。最高級のテムズトロルはどれくらい強いんすか？
そうね。テムズを最後まで建築できる魔女がもし現代にいるのなら、そのテムズは奥の手を出し切った青子でも倒しきれない踏破不可能な橋になるでしょうね。産業革命時のスモッグ都市ロンドン、その異名を上回る都市の巨人として権限するのだから。
へへへ、また大きく出たっすね。都市っすが口だけなら何とでも言えるってやつっす。
Wowzers! A whole city? Blimey! Is that true, or are you just saying that?
ハリスさん、その見えっ張りで負けず嫌いなところ直した方がいいっすよ。親愛なるプロイからの涙の忠告っす。
ありがとう。 それじゃあ早速性格改善に付き合ってもらおうかしら。
Oh no, oh no.
まず
The
は
bird's gonna
口
die.
だけならというところから。出番よテムズ、あなたの力を見せてあげなさい。
Show this bird what you can do.
出落ちでというか、すでに出落ちの体の上だったっす。初めから自分に逃げ場はなかったっす。
She looks like she's doing a JoJo pose.
そうよ。だから言ったでしょう。山を舐めるな。
いや、そういう意味じゃなかった気がするっす。
The theme stroll is the mountain. Uh-oh. Yeah. Sponsor. Honmono no Hikikari. No, the sponsor is the scam blanket people. And we have the wonderful world of Ploys 6. Flat Snark. Oh my god, yes! We have Derpy Alco. Magic Castle in the Mist. Flat Snark. She's watching the
この
movie.
映画字幕が出てないっすね。自分ちゃんとセリフあるんすけど。
知ってるわ。でも耳障りだったから。私兼務の編集さんにあなたのセリフだけカットしてもらったの。
That's why we couldn't understand Robin until later on.
グレート。もう何もかもアリスさん中心なんすね。自分だけサイレント映画の気分っす。
The Great 3.
2体目ね。誤解されそうだから言っておくと、スナークの本体は液体よ。
Oh, it's liquid. I thought it was gas.
スナークの2つな月の油っすね。フラットスナークの名前は誰がつけたんすか？
あなたもよく知っている彼女だけど、私、彼女と仲良くなるまでプロイに名前をつけていなかったから。
Oh, it's a riddle. That's why we needed the finish the last chapter before getting to this.
強い順とか思い入れがある順に1番、2番と呼んでいただけだった。
Oh, so her strongest one was I guess her strongest one was the theme stroll. We should call it number 1.
番号じゃなくて名前をつけないぐうたら。いや、シンプルさはアリスさんらしいっすけど、なんで順番？
Look at Chibi Alice. Oh my god. in her outfit.
だって番号をつけても混乱するだけでしょ。どれが強いかどれが好きかなんて日によって変わるのだし。だから気持ち次第でその日ごとに順番は違ったわ。1
Ah.
番はディドルが鉄板。
Never mind.
テムズは大抵3番か4番だったわね。ああ、思い出した。彼女とプロイで遊んでいる時、それで困ったことになって。
Yeah.
明日新しいパパがやってくるの。だから6番のプロイを貸してちょうだい。私おめかしして出迎えたいの。
Baby Riddle.
そういった彼女に私その日は気分的に
Oh.
これは6番目と
Her
決め
numbers
ていた
kept
プロイを貸したわ。
changing.
もう大体わかったっすけど、一応聞いておくっす。それは何のプロイだったっすか？
Flat Snark.
後に
Oh,
彼
never
女が
mind.
ゴブリンフロンと名付けるようになった香水よ。その香水をかけると一日悪口とスランプしか言えなくなるの。
Oh, is that the one she stole from her and just paid her back? She kept calling like goblin stuff.
その後彼女はプロイに名前をつけるよう提案してきたわ。なぜか涙で赤くなった目で。これはスイーツハーツ、これはスクリプスハンプティ、これはディドルディドル、これはフラットスナーク。いい？これからはこの名前で統一するのよ。名は体を表すというでしょう。私そんな変換間違いのような名前よりその日の気分で分けた方が楽でいいと思ったのだけど。あんたの気分なんて他人には分かんないし、その度に 私の運命が狂っていくことをもうちょっと気にしてちょうだい。それに近い将来、こういう名前がトレンドになる時代が来るから、絶対すぐに飽きられるだろうけど。なんで、どうせつけるなら生かした方がグッドでバッド。せっかく私たちだけのオリジナリティなのよ。ポップに流行らせなくちゃ大損だわ。それ以来、私はプロイを名前で呼ぶようになった。いちいち名前を覚える手間はあったけれど、プロイを間違えることはなくなったわ。まさにコロンブスの卵ね。なんていう発想の柔軟さ、斬新さかしら。時々思うのだけど、あの子は天才ね。
そうっすね。自分も思うんすけど、
Oh no.
アリスさんって時々すごく
Okay, she's gonna make the beam come out from the movie theater right into Robin. Oh, never mind.
やられてしまったわね。
Ouch.
油なだけによく燃えるっすね。スナークはどんなプロイなんすか？
本編で大体のあらましは語っているわ。細かなデータは。
Oh, wow, okay, there we go. Name, Oil of the Moon. Original form, oil. Components, said to be the belly fat from a nomadic god. Oh wow, dating back to the age of gods. Manifestation, oil floating like a membrane over the night. Hides its true form with clouds and fog. Weakness, fire. And that's what it looks like.
その貴重な油を青子さんは燃やしてしまったと。これなんとか戻せないんすか？
残念ながら不可能よ。この時代ではスナークを生成することはできない。
こうして貴重な文化遺産はフィーリングだけで生きている野蛮人に壊されていくんすね。文明を蹂躙するのって面白い。
It's such a waste. But if only you didn't use it to try to kill us.
しかし出落ちに続いてスナークもこのざまとか。何がグレート3っすか？甘え。グレート3は甘え。しかし自分やるプロイスから参拝を有効利用するっすよ。おーい、外の店員さん、この残った油でとりあえずフライドポテトでもあげてくれ。
Fry me a bag of chips with this oil.
あら、あなたにしては明暗ね、ロビン。それじゃあ私はフライドチキンにしてもらおうかしら。
You'll come back anyways.
外のメニュー、ホットドッグとポップコーンとポテトしかなかったっすよ。自分映画館はまず飲食店のメニューからチェックするはずから、だいたい映画館でフライドチキンとか匂いがブライっす。他のお客さんに迷惑っす。
知っているわ。でも安心して、私お腹は空いていないから、ただ油で揚げてもらうだけでいいの。
食事として頼むわけではないと。
You wouldn't do that, right? You would never kill me, even though you killed me like 7 times. Oh god.
高温で全身まんべんなく、毛先から毛穴まで茹で上がるのは初めてなんじゃないかしら。また一つシーンコレクションが増えたわね、ロビン。
Just another cause of death to add to your collection. Oh my god!
一番増やしたくないレパートリー、あざーすー。でも世界にはまだまだ未知のシーンが隠れているっすよ。
Oh my god, he's no longer blue. Is he gonna come back as a fried
ここまで
bird?
のようね。同時上映のある劇場も最近は減ってきたわね。最後に3体目の紹介をしたかったけど、それはまたの機会に。
Oh, is there a part 3?
長かった本編を楽しんでくれた皆さん、すぐ終わるようでなかなか終わらなかった番外編に付き合ってくれた皆さん。
The side stories that could either end quickly or take forever. They know.
魔法使いの夜はこれで一旦の終了となります。
Wait, what?
続きはまたいつかどこかで。旅する星がするりと落ちて あなたの胸に輝く時に。
So they're not gonna explain the Wonder Snatch?
それでは長らくのご視聴ありがとうございました。
Aw, I guess this is the end. I'm kind of sad. I thought there would be a part 7. Sponsor, Pink Trude World Tour. Oh, that was the band that Aoko really liked. Oh, the music's changed. Oh. Oh, the game is over now. Oh, look at that. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't expect that. That's so beautiful. Witch on the Holy Night. Let's see the CG mode. We should have everything now, right? We literally went through everything. I noticed that a lot of these were blocked out before, but it's probably due to the last few chapters. Oh man, yeah, I really like the art for this game. Honestly, no. I really like everything in this game. I already talked about it at length in the main story. Oh yeah, there are a lot of missing parts, but it was like, here's dead Tokitsu, here's dead teacher, here's dead Hosuke. Yeah, there's a lot of, we got all the images now. Oh, we even have just the picture of Aozaki in the bunny costume. Oh, do they have, oh, they don't have, I was hoping they would have the Alice in the penguin suit, but everything else were, I think the latter half we've already got. These are just kind of backgrounds. This was the sponsor for All About Ploys 5. Honmono no Hikari. Oh man. Yeah, this, oh, the last one was the theater. In sound mode, I'm pretty sure we should have all the sounds now. I wonder if they have the Hoshiga something. I forgot the name of the song. This is the Supercell song I really like. I wonder if it'll be here. Nah, it seems like they do not. Still very solid though. Oh man, I love the fact that they changed the intro. I mean the title screen when you finish the game. Oh yeah, I think originally I was gonna split into 2 episodes, one with the bad ending, and then one with the true ending and all about the ploys. But after some consideration, I think I'm just gonna fit it all into one. So it's just gonna be like all the endings plus the ploys. But I've already said everything I want to say about this game after the main story. It was beautiful, it was great, I loved it, I want a sequel, though it's kind of hard to make a sequel for this. A little bit, because like, we already know what's gonna happen to Aoko and Toko. I guess the sequel would have to focus on Alice or Sojuro, or maybe some of the characters, the other characters like Tobimaru, Kinomi, Kujika, Kumari, etc. And like the church people. But yeah, we know that Aoko's gonna end up being in the intro for Tsukihime, where she, you know, helps out the main character. And she ends up going to fight people in Type Blue Mean. And Toko also ends up doing a whole bunch of stuff. She shows up in Garden of Sinners, she shows up in El Malloy, she shows up in Fate. So we know that she's going to be like a very famous puppet master, very famous mage, who... Well, let's just say, I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say that she's famous for multiple reasons. Good and bad. But yeah. Yeah, if there's ever a sequel to this, whether it's a visual novel or a movie or a book, I know that they've said they're interested in it, but I would definitely be interested in checking it out. But like I said before, the game portion of this Let's Play is done. The only part left is the extra chapter, the Honey Adventure. Well, we'll tackle that next time. How I'm gonna do it, I am not sure, but I'll do something. I'll do something about it. But we'll check that out next time. And until then, I will be seeing you. See ya!